I know that you're taking steroids, so you want to start using them, but you're worried about the plethora of potential side effects that come out of it. My name is George Tuliatos, aka Dr. Testosterone, certified MD, author of 9 books and countless articles focused on the proper use of steroids. Now, I know what you're thinking, just another juice doc answering Q&A. You feel frustrated having to search through countless articles and interviews seeking for the exclusive information that you're looking for. That's why we created Steroids Masterclass, an online course covering everything you need to know about harm reduction and steroid use. I'm not only saying this as a doctor, but as a former national bodybuilding champion who didn't have all the information that this course was providing for you. I can't wait to see you all, and remember that knowledge is power.
Hey everybody, welcome to Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George Tuliatos and brought to you by his book, available on Amazon.com, The Bible of Bodybuilding. If you're on Amazon.com, go ahead and get my book, Real Bodybuilding. It's such an awesome book. And of course, pick up the new issue of Muscular Development, June issue.
Yes,
Page
I got
7.
it.
Yeah, you got it all the way in Greece, so you guys can get it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're all the way, if you're in America. So right after the rough,
because the post office a little bit is delayed, you know.
Yeah, the doctor is in shape. So we just had a show yesterday. We're recording this on Monday morning. Toronto Pro Super Show happened in Toronto yesterday, and Mohammed Shaban won and got his ticket to the Olympia. And I was very impressed again with these 2 great European athletes, Theo Leguerre and Andrea Muzzi from Italy. Both very, very good.
Well, I'm a fan of the Croatian Peter Glancer, you know.
Yeah.
He was trained also with Milos because they both speak Yugoslavian, you know.
Yeah.
I
got an interview. He's going to be on Ron Line in a couple of days.
Really?
Yeah, he speaks pretty good English.
Okay.
Yeah, Serbia, Croatia. Yeah, but yeah, very, very good showing from Mohammed. Legs on that guy are just phenomenal.
Who's his coach?
That's a good question because I know Charles Glass trains him. I'm not sure who his coach is. I
heard that Charles Glass left LA for Vegas. Huh?
Oh, really? Him too?
Yeah, and now Gaspari says that the new Mecca is the Vegas.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Nobody stays in LA. It's too much the taxes, you know, and I don't know.
Well, the last time I was out there, I lived there for 10 years and I've only been back a couple times. The traffic is so bad now on the freeways. It's no matter what time of day, doesn't matter. It's always just like gridlock. Total, you can barely move on the highways. It's so frustrating. So I would never want to deal with that, you know, unless I never left my house. But yeah, so Vegas for sure. So you're coming out.
Everybody's moving to Vegas, you know. I mean, Flex Lewis has his gym, Milos Sarcev also, Jay Cutler, of course.
Yeah, and the Olympia is back in Vegas this year, finally, after 3 years away. Yeah, I really hope I get a chance to go out and see Dragon's Lair when I'm out there, because that place looks incredible. And that's what
Flex Lewis, you mean? Yeah. Gym, huh?
That's like the new Gold's Venice. That's where everybody wants to train now. So I gotta check it out.
And also Yamagishi had
yeah, Iris Kyle and Hida Yamagishi, they have a powerhouse gym there. Yeah, and there's all kinds of health food restaurants. It is like probably the most bodybuilder friendly city in the USA right now, where it used to be Los Angeles for many years.
Yeah.
But LA went downhill really bad. Anyway, let's get to some questions. Hello, doctor. I want to ask the doctor, which is the best way to take 25 micrograms of T3 all in one dose or divided in 2 doses of 12.5 micrograms 2 times a day? And if in 2 doses, how many hours difference would you put between the 2 doses?
Well, because T3 has a shorter half-life than T4, I guess splitting 2 doses throughout the day, so every 12 hours, would be preferable.
Okay. So like,
but taking on an empty stomach, this is the tricky thing, that usually when people take T4 in the morning, they wait until 20 minutes to be absorbed on an empty stomach. But this is harder, and because it's harder to be on an empty stomach late through the day, unless I don't know, unless it's during training time, I don't know.
Yeah.
You better do it sublingually under the tongue, you know, just like the steroid pills.
Yeah.
To be absorbed fast.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's a lot of things when they say take on an empty stomach. For most of the people who eat the way we do, the way bodybuilders do, the only time we ever, when you wake up, that's the only time, because we're eating all the time. So 2 hours after you eat chicken and rice, you don't really have an empty stomach. You know?
No, only post-workout and breakfast, you know, time.
That post-workout, we're usually starving. Okay. Next question. This is a good one, because a lot of people want to know if steroid doses have a direct relation to strength. So this is related to that. Doctor, speaking of performance and training, I'm a professional powerlifter and I do TRT, 150 milligrams, which guarantees me 1,000 total testosterone. Do you think that if I increase testosterone to 200 milligrams, there'll be a significant improvement in performance because I care about health? Another thing, do you think it's worth using oxymetholone or Dianabol at 50, 100 milligrams on more intense training days like squat and deadlift days?
So the second part was to use anadrol or Dianabol. And what dose?
50 to 100 milligrams on training day, on intense training days like squat and deadlift days.
100 or 150?
He said 50 to 100 was what he was thinking.
100 is a lot, man.
Yeah.
I would say 50 of both substances.
Yeah.
It's safer, I would say, because both are liver toxic.
True. But you know, we've talked this about before. You've said if you're going to take your orals, probably the best time to take them is before your workout, sublingually, right? 30 minutes.
Yeah, the one dose. But Dianabol, you can break it down in 5 doses of 10.
Okay. Yeah. Because
anadrol, if you can cut it in half of 2 doses of 25. And what was the first pass? The first,
so he's on TRT at 150 milligrams. He wants to know if you think he could boost it to 200 for a little better performance as a power lifter.
Yeah, you can do that, but of course, mind that estrogens might elevate, and also your hematocrit might elevate. So watch out.
Okay. All right, next one. If my LH, I can't remember, what does LH stand for again? Luteinizing hormone?
Yes.
Okay. If my luteinizing hormone is already high and FSH, I can't remember what was that. What's FSH? FSH.
Follicle stimulating hormone. It's about spermatogenesis in men.
Okay. So if my LH is already high and FH is normal levels, am I wasting my money on HCG injections? I do, however, have only one testicle due to testicular cancer many years ago. I'm taking 1,200 IU a week. I only ask because with high LH and normal FSH, my test level was below 200, and now I'm up to 800 on TRT, but still worried about fertility.
So this guy has to understand that when LH is up, it's not a good thing. In 90 people, this equals primary hypogonadism because the brain tries to compensate the testicular failure. So there is low testosterone on small testicles that don't work, and hyperactivity of the brain in order to try to wake up the testicles because it's the axis. Yeah. Now, when we introduce HCG or testosterone, we shut off LH. Testosterone shuts off both LH and FSH, and now Pregnil or HCG or Ganassi or whatever, or Ovitrel is going to drop in releasing hormone agonist. That means it's an LH mimicker. It will shut off LH. So you shouldn't care about your LH or your FSH when you are into HCG or testosterone replacement therapy, because simply they're going to be at 0 in a while. All it matters is your sperm production. So check it out with the seminal diagram. If you're natty, yes, you should check out the gonadotropins, LH, FSH. But as soon as you administrate testosterone or HCG, we don't count them anymore. It doesn't matter. All that matters is in the paper, the testosterone and the spermatocytes.
Okay.
All right. And this guy has to understand that you have to use HCG all the way. And sometimes, now that he has one testicle, perhaps some HMG in order to boost also the Sertoli cells production for sperm synthesis. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just curious, if you lose a testicle, if you just lose one, would the other testicle
have the other one, like your kidney?
Would it still be enough? Would it still produce enough testosterone?
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure about if it's enough, but it still produces, and so does with spermatocytes.
Okay.
But of course, yes, you have to check it out.
Okay. I can't believe the last question is another HCG question. We've been getting a lot of HCG questions. This gentleman wants to know, is HCG alone with TRT enough to preserve fertility?
I just answered this before. So usually, yes, it is.
Yeah.
But if you want something special for an extra boost, then you need to implement also HMG, human menopausal gonadotropin, which is synthetic FSH. And actually, this stack is miraculous. It works very well.
What is HMG made for? Is it made for menopausal women?
No, it's human menopausal gonadotropin. It's synthetic FSH. LH is HCG is produced by the placenta.
But I mean, what is HMG? What's the actual medical use?
You know, it's to boost the it's for men it does the Sertoli cell kick, but for women, I guess it's used for IVF.
Okay. Yeah, I only asked because bodybuilders, we use so many drugs off label, like Clenbuterol is an asthma drug, but bodybuilders use it to get lean, and you could go on.
Lean, but what it helps Clenbuterol's performance because you breathe better.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
Yeah, it's actually been. I remember animal studies. I don't know if it's was ever shown. It did actually help animals gain a little bit of muscle, Clenbuterol, but
it becomes anabolic. Perhaps it increases intensity. I don't know if it's a myostatin inhibitor or a cortisol blocker, but I guess with Clenbuterol you train intensively more, and perhaps through this mechanism you stimulate muscle growth.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of severe cramping from Clenbuterol?
Yes, it does. I believe through sweating you get hypokalemia. And I had cramping here and my toes, you know, in my in my feet.
Yesterday,
and I was trembling like this. As I was eating yogurt, I had a girlfriend, and she goes, "Are you on narcotics?"
Oh, she thought you were coked up.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Clen. No, because yesterday I was watching the pay-per-view yesterday, and my right hamstring, it cramped up so bad, I couldn't move. And I was like, I couldn't straighten it. It took about 5 minutes.
I believe it's hot and humid now.
It is.
And you sweat a lot and you get dehydrated.
Yeah, true. But I started Clen a couple of days ago, Saturday. So yeah, I'm sure there's got to be a link because that never happens to me.
So nasty, man, being on stage trying to do this and you look.
See the guy, I've seen it. Remember Paul Dillette? He turned it, well, that wasn't Clenbuterol, but he turned into a human statue that carried him off stage.
Who gave him the wrong advice?
That was Reverend.
Somebody you were cooperating with.
Yeah, let's not say his name. Because you know, like the Harry Potter, they don't say Voldemort's name. There's certain people I just don't say their name for whatever reason. All right. Well, doctor, that is all the questions we have. It was a quick week. We had a couple other ones that we skipped over because they were guys. If you need,
listen, I want to give a message. Yes. When I give you an advice, you should follow this advice. If you don't want to follow this and doing your own, we're not responsible for this. And I'm not your medical doctor over here, your personal physician. You know, I give pro bono advice. You should, be thankful for this. Yeah. But you shouldn't get advantage of this and become spoiled and go question and question and question, and in the end start questioning myself for giving you the advice.
Well, I just also want to add that sometimes a lot of people they'll say they'll message me on Instagram and say, I watch your show with Dr. T, and then they ask me questions about steroids and other PEDs. I say, guys, I'm just the guy that reads the questions. This is the guy that answers.
I tell them also to read my books because my books is more, more thorough information and of course comprehensive. Yeah. And Q&As here cannot substitute the book, or of course a consultation of half an hour. Yeah. So take it easy. I mean, knowledge is power because through knowledge you can accomplish everything. But of course, my fees are way cheaper than your steroid cycles or your nutrition. Okay, so in first hand, you should get doctor's advice and invest in this. And afterwards get your stuff. Right.
Yeah, people do it all backwards. They get their steroids and start taking them. Then they start asking questions.
No, I'm sorry.
Completely opposite.
Of course, there's no free lunch. If you go to the drug dealer, says, "Oh, please, give me a bottle of this, and I don't know, I'll cook your dinner later." No.
Drug dealer just wants to sell you drugs. That's all they want to do, guys. I mean, that's their business.
I sell information. I provide healing, you know, and of course this has a cost.
Yeah. So guys, if you want to contact the doctor for, you know, personal consultation, you can probably, the best way is probably your Instagram, Dr. George Stouliatos.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Or my mail, which is on my Instagram. Yes. So.
Okay. And if you have questions for the next show, you know, simple questions, please leave them in the comments section here below. We do pick out the best ones and answer them. So just so you know, we record every Monday. So if you leave them after Saturday, we're probably not going to get to them. So we post these videos every Tuesday. So try to get your questions in during the week. We do our best job to get to all the best questions for you. Dr. George Stouliatos, so generous with his time and information. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Hit the little notification bell. If you like these videos, hit the like, share. Even if you don't have a question, leave some comments. We welcome all your comments. And that's it. So Doctor, thank you so much for taking the time once again. And that's it. Another awesome episode of Ask Dr. Testosterone. Join us right here next week. We'll see you then.